Yada Vendada, welcome to Pure Finds, the podcast where four awesome guys talk about four awesome albums. I'm Chris.
I'm Ian.
I'm Cody.
Kyle.
And we are the four rings that make up the table. We love to talk about old albums, some in our collection, some we used to own. This are any albums. Mostly we deal with vinyl, but every now and then we break out and we do some new stuff that just never came out on record, so we use CDs.
Tapes.
Yeah, MP3.
8-track. No 8-tracks. No.
It's great. Well, we just talked about the list of albums we're doing, and we're getting some awesome jumps here and some great albums. So let's just get started.
Cool. I'm going first. Get to open the show.
Hell yeah! For the first time in a long time.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah, I'm gonna do the fifth studio album by The Who. Who's
Who?
next? Yeah, The Who. Who's next? But it was released August 14th, 1971 in the U.S. It comes in just under 45 minutes.
45.
Can't read my handwriting. Yeah, just under 45 minutes. It was recorded between April and June 1971 at Olympic Studios in London. Studios known for like people like the Yardbirds, the Jimi Hendrix Experience, Rolling Stones, some of the bigger names that everybody should hopefully know. If not, then you've been living under a rock. The other studio that they recorded at was Stargroves, which is the Rolling Stones mobile studio.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, which is awesome.
The
mobile studio?
Yeah, the mobile studio, like Bad Company and stuff, too. We were talking about that last week.
What's his name? Ronnie Lane's mobile studio.
Yeah. Another mobile studio.
Oh, this is a different one.
Oh, it's a different one?
Yeah, this is a
okay.
different one.
Somebody got the idea from somebody.
They stole
Somebody
it from
did
Ronnie
it.
Lane.
Yeah.
I think it's just the people back in those days. They typically were on the road and then would find out, I got this new thing, and then they record, and then
How
all of a
easy
sudden
is that?
it's
Just be hauling an Airstreamer behind the tour bus.
trending.
That'd be
now
awesome,
trending.
actually.
Mobile studios.
Yeah, probably like at festivals it would happen where
Yeah.
it's like, they're playing here. Oh, they're awesome. Yeah, and they brought their recording studio with them. It's like, they can do that? You should do that.
Well,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
the thing is that, I think we spoke about it before, but I mean, a mobile studio during that time has to be huge.
Right.
I mean, they've got tape machines and, all this external gear that is huge.
Yeah,
Like
it's
a-
like
like a
those...
Winnebago size, you think?
I don't even know. Like,
Winnebago man.
Oh, a Winnebago?
I just picture those like FBI guys in like the back of a UPS truck.
Yeah,
all
like with the
tapes
headsets.
and
It probably looks a lot like that, actually.
I mean, for us now, I mean, we could...
This album's fire.
For us now, I mean, we could basically take the setup that we're doing now, recording this, and bring it to a Walmart near you and
Right.
set up in the back room and start recording.
You wanna?
No,
Uh-huh.
We'll do that for the 100th cast, or maybe the 1000th.
Yeah.
We'll save that for the 1000th.
I'd say 100th if
Just
we
do
had
it
somebody.
Kmart.
Yeah, I was like, we ended up doing Kmart. We couldn't afford Walmart.
just set up in the middle of nowhere to start recording, just in the middle of a field.
Walmart said $100. Kmart said 50. It was a pretty obvious choice.
So
yeah.
anyways, The Who.
The Who. It was produced by The Who and Glenn Johns, who at the time, he's the younger brother of, what did I say? Maybe this wasn't the album that I was thinking about. I was completely wrong, yeah. Okay, never mind. Glenn Johns, he basically got credited with being the associate producer for the album, even though he did most of the unique stuff for the album. He's known for Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, Eagles, Band, Clash, Beatles, all of them.
Jeez.
Yeah.
He's
Or
been
being
around.
a part of that, either being the engineer or, actually producing. But the whole reason behind this album was Pete Townsend wanted to do something new. At the time, they were touring for Tommy, and they were trying to come up with a new idea or something new for the next project. And they went through a few ideas. They started a project called Lifehouse. And the story behind this, or the story for it was a concept album. And what it was set in the near future in a society in which music is banned and most of the population live indoors in government-controlled experience suits. Yeah.
Somebody was stoned.
Had to be.
Wait, like The Matrix? I think that sounds like The Matrix.
I don't know, but I mean,
That's
basically,
the Wachowski brothers.
Yeah, I was like, I think they fucked up.
basically what ends up happening is a rebel ends up broadcasting rock music into the suits, allowing people to remove them and become more enlightened.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, that idea soon gets abandoned. But it eventually got released in later
Sounds like a
albums
good
and-
movie.
No more individuality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It got abandoned and was later, trickled into later albums and whatnot. And that leaves them to come into, the fifth album being Who's Next. Cool. The backing track for Won't Get Fooled Again was recorded at Stargroves before they relocated to Olympic to do some of the bigger hardcore stuff for it. John's he was concerned with a good sound as opposed to the manager at the times was concerned with the image. So John was actually wanted to give them a good sound instead of it just being like, oh, we're the Who, look at us, we're all fancy like and whatnot.
Okay, yeah, this guy cared about the music. He
Yeah.
was like, hey, how about we make a good sounding record? And the other guy's just sitting there wondering, like, make sure his pants are tight enough.
Yeah.
Like,
Make sure there's a solid bulge right in the photo.
who was that guy?
The manager, Kit, what was his name? Kit Lambert.
Fuck that guy. Kit Lambert.
Yeah.
But there's the hero. The other guy's the hero.
Yes, Glenn Johns. He was the hero. This album's heavily synthesized. It was the time was it Pete Townsend was trying to use the synthesizers more as an integral part of the song instead of it just being like background music and be like, we're playing, we're rocking out. No, look, a little synthesizer in the background.
Little bells and whistles here for your recording pleasure.
Yeah, he wanted to incorporate the synthesizer into more of, it being another part of the band kind of thing instead of it just being there. Yeah. And
I think that was a trend, right? Back in that time.
Yeah,
I
it was
think
like
they were getting really.
what is it, a Mogo or
a Moog.
a Moog? Yeah, a Moog synthesizer because Sabbath used it.
yeah.
It was a
I don't
huge
think
deal.
they used the Moog on this, or Moog. I forget how it's pronounced. It's Moog.
I know the Beatles worked with it before.
Floyd.
They might have. I
I
don't
think
know.
like maybe.
I mean, you got to think like
Let's do an episode on the Moog synthesizer.
The synthesizers that we
Yeah.
see now are basically that keyboard style synthesizer. The synthesizers back then, could be as big as your refrigerator.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
things were insane. All the dials and
Yeah.
stuff. Like,
Kinda
You
like-
open up a
yeah.
briefcase and there's a synthesizer. The briefcase is the synthesizer.
Yeah.
It's almost like my record player now that I bought for $100.
Yeah,
You
like
open the briefcase and it's a record player.
Yeah, I
type
mean,
deal.
it looks more like a supercomputer back in the day
Right.
than it did.
Yeah,
an
supercomputer
instrument.
used to play chess. And
Yeah.
shit back in the day.
Yeah, It doesn't look like what you would think it would. But it was a kind of a trend at the time to basically just use the synthesizer as background or a little bit of bells and whistles, like you said, instead of being an integral part of the song.
Right.
And I mean, everybody did it. Everybody did it at that time.
yeah,
I mean,
when Sabbath did it, man, it was like a cool ominous overtone to
Yeah.
like all the songs. That's why Sabbath was awesome.
Sabbath will always be king.
But another thing Glenn Johns is associated with in this project was he made Keith Moon's drumming more formal. So if you think of Keith Moon, who's this crazy monkey
Wild,
guy,
yeah.
he's just all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean,
Octopus, man.
He put ankle weights on his arms, didn't he? It was like, calm down.
he could hit hard, and I mean, there's if you listen to some of their earlier tracks, you can actually hear the clack clipping. I mean, but you really gotta listen in there tight because I mean, he's hitting hard. He's going to town on him. I mean, I never in my dreams would I ever hit that hard on a drum set, just because you can accomplish more with less, kind of thing.
Was he trained, or
Classically trained?
Oh,
He just like
God.
kind of learned himself.
I mean, you think back in that time when you think of drummers being trained, they're like jazz drummers,
Right.
and I'm not 100% positive if he was classically trained because I mean, if he
almost, like,
Well, he is
seemed
British.
like a jazz trained,
Yeah,
But I mean, if he were trained, I don't think he'd be hitting that hard.
yeah.
Because I mean, even jazz drummers, some of the more noticeable jazz drummers who become rock drummers don't hit that hard.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's just wild. I mean,
he was something else.
Yeah, because he holds his sticks. He would hold at least one stick.
Like
Yeah,
Buddy
Like
Rich.
and
jazz,
the
Yeah.
traditional style.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like you put him behind a drum kit, and the only person I can, between two different between two different genres and two different decades, definitely. It's like these two drummers are both on drugs. Extreme amount of drugs.
Horse
Pills, man.
tranquilizers
He
and
was
shit.
like, you take handfuls of pills.
Yeah,
you know?
and basically what I compare it to is that the classic rock sound of Keith Moon reminds me, and this is going to sound crazy, I'm sure, to a few of you, but to the Rev of
Avenged Sevenfold. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I've never seen the Rev in videos play like that. But as far as the intensity and the
Intricacy.
yeah, the intricacy.
Ding.
Yeah.
5 cents.
Yeah.
5 cent word.
Between the intricacy of, and his crazy hard drug-induced playing, those two drummers I kind of compare because, well, I mean, they...
Yeah, it's like they were on heavy drugs each.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic, intricate drummers. Like, they didn't miss the beats. They hit everything. Very
Just
fast.
a quick question. What was the drummer from Avenged Sevenfold doing?
Was he crack?
You sound.
Oh, it was something.
I think it was crack.
Speedballing?
Possible. Yeah, I think
Chris
that
Farley?
Yeah, Chris Farley and also John Belushi.
Mr. Yeah. One of
I
the
mean,
Blues
I've heard
Brothers.
everything from crack to speed to like horse tranquilizers, like everything in
Special
involved.
K.
But it killed him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it killed the
yeah,
Rev. So, but he is. Yeah, Ian's.
He's in a better
mentioned it.
place now. No.
No offense, you can't replace the Rev with Mike Portney. Sorry, Avenged Sevenfold, but
One question I want to
Nice try.
propose is like Keith Moon was known for playing the drums like loud as hell and beating it hard.
Every man is known for being.
What?
He said hard.
Stop beating it. But no, like
Butts.
he played so loud, and the Who was known for being like one of the loudest bands ever. Like one of my good friends' dads, he saw the Who back in the 70s.
Right.
And he said he couldn't hear for like 2 days
Oh, I'm
afterwards.
sure.
You know.
I'm
And-
sure.
Well, if the drummer's loud, the rest of the band has
Exactly. That's what I was getting at. Like maybe the Who would have been a more quieter band if they had a different drummer, you know.
Different drummer.
But they were just trying to get loud enough to get over his drums.
Who knows? Maybe Roger Daltrey
Who
would have had
knows?
some.
No.
But no, like Daltrey probably would have had somewhat of a better singing career too.
Right.
You know, like
His voice might still be
he'd
intact.
probably have something to go off of. I mean, nowadays, so I hear
You saw
the
the Super
Who's
Bowl.
playing live. Yeah, oh yeah, the Super Bowl. It's
That
like,
was- ugh.
yeah, I'm gonna watch something else. You know, we're like,
No.
Yeah, there are a few artists like that where it's like you sounded fantastic when you're younger in your heyday kind of thing, but
Yeah.
even though I envy you for trying to continue your career, your voice isn't there
Yeah,
anymore.
gotta hang up the gloves at some point.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, and then there's
Burn
those,
out
there
or
are
fade
those
away.
there are those that are like really good that, you know, legend that it's like you're not really going there to necessarily hear them because you know it's not going to be the greatest,
Yeah.
but it's because you appreciate them. And I don't think there are a
Yeah.
lot of people, or maybe there is, but a lot of people that would actually go and do that except for musicians, you know.
Yeah,
like,
like
who would tip their hat like who? Who are
Oh,
you talking
like
about?
Bad
Who?
Company?
Oh, no.
Or people that can't sing like it?
yeah.
Oh, I mean,
That's fan. I mean,
I've seen
yeah.
quite a few.
Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Who I
Also,
wouldn't have seen in his heyday, actually.
Steve Miller, he was kind of like that. But I mean, like,
I had a good Miller experience when I saw
Yeah.
him. I've seen Ozzy twice live. Once Ozzy solo and once with Black Sabbath. And both times, like, yeah, the Vokes aren't there, but I was still excited as fuck to be there. It's like hearing the musicians playing the music
And seeing.
and seeing Ozzy there on stage, like, bumbling around
Yeah.
as a buffoon, you know,
Well, I
a
mean,
buffoon, but it's
There's
magical.
a difference between, trying to sing how you used to sing in your heyday, the
Yeah.
songs that everybody wants to hear.
Right.
And there's a difference between reinventing yourself and then,
Exactly.
Yes.
like Robert Plant, you know?
Yeah. Oh, dude, Robert. I love Robert Plant.
Great
Like,
example,
Right.
actually.
Yeah. Was it All the King's Horses?
Oh, that's a great
Fantastic song, and it
Great.
works, and it's perfect.
Not
for
only that,
his
but
voice.
when he works with these new kids that he's in a group with, like, you know, he sings in a different key.
Oh, yeah.
a lot
Old
lower.
Zeppelin songs.
Yeah,
and
and
they
it
sound
sounds-
awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, wow,
They
man,
sound
this guy's still
different,
good.
but like in a good way. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's awesome. He had a band like Robert Plant and the Strange Sensation, They were really good.
That sounds like a kid's book.
Right.
The strange
I don't know about a
sensation.
kid's book. That
Yeah.
sounds like an adult book.
But yeah, that's a
That
perfect
was actually
example.
Chris's
starring Robert
kid's
Plant.
Anyways, back to the Who. Yeah, who's next?
Like poop through feathers. Who?
Yeah. Anyways, Keith Moon's drumming was crazy, and Glenn Johns made it more formal. He tried to make Keith Moon less reliant on the long drum fills, and that's partly due to the synthesizer backing it, and Glenn Johns' nonsense production techniques, where he was basically like, beating down on him and whatnot.
Yeah, it's just like stay on tempo, asshole.
Well, I mean, he insisted on a good performance. So I mean, like last week when we talked about television, they
Yeah.
practiced over and over and over again, and
6
recorded-
hours. Was it 6 hours?
6 hours a day,
Yeah.
7 days a week, and they went in there and laid some of their stuff down in one take. Glenn Johns kind of has that same mentality even before the television, obviously, and the no nonsense during production. He wanted to do good recording.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah, it makes them pretty awesome. The cover art, we talked about this a while back, where it.
Oh, is this with the tower?
Yeah,
And-
it's a giant.
monolith like deal.
It
It's
was
like
a-
a big cement block, but
Yeah.
what was it supposed to be?
It's supposed to look like they had just urinated on this giant cement block in the middle of nowhere, and we all talked about it to where it looked like their shadows at first.
Yeah, like me and you were
Yeah.
saying we had like
Yeah.
thought
I
it was
was sold
shadows
on
for
it.
years.
Sold on it that it was being a shadow until I read up on it and I looked at it even closer and I was like, oh my god, they're all zipping up their pants and there's water trickling down on
How did
them.
I
Like
not
Interwhistle's
see
like
that?
Yeah.
Interwhistle's like buckling his belt. Everyone else, I mean, and when you look at those old albums back in those days, especially like Zeppelin, the Who, it's like every girl's focused on their fucking junk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like now they're focused on their junk. you know?
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, the crazy thing is that most of them actually didn't pee on the giant concrete block in the middle of nowhere. They couldn't, and so what they did was they took an empty film reel can and had rainwater from it, and basically did it that way. So they didn't even pee on the damn thing. They made it look like they peed on it.
We want to look rebellious, but I don't want to pee in front
Wait,
of my mates.
isn't there a stage fright story that I'm forgetting about here in this?
The what?
A stage fright? Someone just couldn't go?
Oh yeah,
Wasn't it someone that drinks really bad but just could not push it out?
most of them couldn't. They just
I thought it was Moon, though. Moon couldn't,
Yeah.
Moon.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's all fucked up. He's like,
Don't look at my wanker.
don't look at my weenie.
But yeah, they couldn't even trying to be rebellious 5 albums in.
Yeah.
They none of them could pee on it. But
They did My Generation. That's rebellious enough.
yeah, some of the alternate suggestions for the cover album though was they were going to urinate on a Marshall stack.
Oh.
Yeah, with an overweight nude woman on the Who's, they were going to urinate on a Marshall stack with an overweight nude woman in the picture, where the Who's faces were in place of her naughty bits.
Okay, yeah. So like nips and
Yeah.
Yeah, who's going to be
Joni
on
Mitchell
the... Yeah,
thingy down
yeah. Oh, whoa. That's called a what?
I believe we call it snatch here.
Well, anyways, so who's going to... Who would be on the vagina?
I don't know. They didn't.
And who would be on the
Whoever
nips?
gets most pussy, I guess.
I don't know. It didn't go that much into depth.
I guess Roger Daltrey.
That's
They
what I
just
think.
suggested it as an alternate album, but yeah.
Callback was what it was called.
I personally would have put Pete Townsend on the pussy.
Oh
Because
yeah.
he is one, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, it's fucked up.
Well, I mean, you think about like the whole pissing on the Marshall stack. Like the one guitar player that played a Marshall stack all the time was Jimi Hendrix, and he had a lot of animosity towards Hendrix. So, like,
Yeah.
in my opinion, I kind of think that was kind of a jab
Him
at
and
Hendrix.
Clapton
you know?
both?
Yeah, but I mean, Clapton, he respected him. They hated each other at first, pretty much, because I mean, everybody was jealous. But
Jelly of the Jimmy.
Pete Townsend just, I don't know, he was like really jealous of him.
She
man.
was like almost vendetta-like.
Yeah, seriously.
I don't like him.
spiteful. And what album did this year come out, Ian?
1971.
Okay, so this is like a year after Hendrix died too. So like
Oh, that would have been horrible.
that even
I'm glad
makes
they didn't go
more
with that.
sense.
I'm
Like,
glad they
yeah,
didn't, man.
I'm still alive. So he's not. He's almost pissing on his grave in a way. Wow,
Yeah,
I don't
fuck.
know. I'm getting.
We're
I'm
opening
getting,
shit up now. Like, whew.
I'm going in the rabbit hole, guys.
Well, I mean, it's
Will you
more. It was
join
more
me?
competitive back then, in
Yeah.
my opinion. Like you see guitar players having disputes and bands having disputes. It was a lot more competitive back
Yeah.
then, and there was always trying to one band one up the other band, and you
Yeah.
know.
I'm sorry, what year?
71.
71?
Yeah.
Just checking.
Well, because at that time, it wasn't like nowadays when there's like a billion subgenres of music. It was like
Well, not only
it was
that,
like it was like hundreds of top-notch acts all playing at once.
not only that, but I mean, everybody and their grandmother can record now.
Yeah, that
Exactly.
I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
That's how you end up with like 21 Pilots and Black Veil Brides and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
But,
off their new album, by the way. That was a sound clip.
Track 1 through 9.
But yeah, I'm gonna wrap us up now with the Who charts. They hit number 4 in the U.S. and number 1 in the U.K. Give it up for the UK for actually liking one of their own.
Anarchy in the UK.
They
Yeah.
finally did it.
And the album has, since its release, gone 3 times platinum. And that's
Shit.
all I've got to say for the Who. And who is next?
Who?
Who?
Me.
We're in
time
time
traveling.
travel.
That was such a good close. Who's next?
Well, I'm doing, or shall I say, I'm.
What are you?
Do we got a pun? Do we got a pun?
Who are you doing?
No, I'm not doing
Who?
anything. I'm presenting a Jim Croce album
Right
to
on.
us
Yes.
and you, the listeners. It is the 5th and final studio album. I did not purely find this. I actually originally bought this online with 2 other Croce records, one of which I gave to a buddy of mine. And the other 2, to 2 other buddies of mine. So they ended up sending me this one back because they already had it and found it purely somewhere in New England. So
Right on.
so I got to keep one.
Nice.
And it's called I Got a Name. And
Which is
it
like
is
one of his best.
it's the last.
Yeah.
It's the very end. As a matter of fact, the last song that he records ever is Salon and Saloon. It's a piano piece.
Yeah.
And
That's the
on
last
that
song
album.
he
That's the
recorded?
very last song he ever recorded.
Oh,
and
wow.
and it's I'll get away from the songs for a second. Let's just talk about
I got
this.
goosebumps
Yeah.
with that.
This
This like,
is,
I didn't know that.
This
That's
is
really cool.
this is an album that was recorded at the Hit Factory in New York City. And
Okay.
Jim
We talked
Croce,
about there a little bit, I
yeah,
think.
he's not a big fan of New York City, nor was he a big fan of the Hit Factory.
Not
but,
his home.
yeah.
Why?
But I mean,
Can I ask why?
I'm not too sure.
Oh, I
This is all like jumbled up notes that I got, but as far as Croce, there isn't a lot to be said about him unless you're watching interviews about Croce, and like I haven't really figured out why he doesn't like New York City, why, but I would think it's because he got dicked around pretty much throughout his whole career.
okay. I mean, I only
he was
ask 'cause
alive.
I'm
He was
not
a
big-
well. I'm like you're asking now. I'm remembering kind of
Okay.
like
Yeah.
from interviews and things that I've seen, and it's like he had it rough coming up, and then once he finally got to the top,
Yeah, he got screwed over a lot.
he ends up going down. I mean, after all that, like climbing and crawling to the way, his way, and he did he really went through a lot of shit just to get where he needed to go.
Yeah.
Went through selling instruments, having bad relationship problems
He was a
throughout
truck
life.
driver,
He's like a jack of all trades kind of guy, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, he's a songwriter, and that's the beauty of this guy.
Yeah, one thing, you almost like, in a way, for most stuff, you don't even have to read up on him or see interviews. You can listen to his songs.
Yeah.
Songs.
That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah.
Because when Ian asked,
yeah.
why don't you think you like New York City? I was like, well, if you listen to a lot of his music, it's about just like walk down a nice country dirt road with holding your girl's
Well, I mean,
hand and shit. And it's
yeah.
like,
the reason why I ask, because I mean, I'm the lone wolf here, whereas I've never really sat down and listened to him.
Oh, yeah, and I'm sure there are
Intricately,
people. I'm sure
so-
there are people that if they hear me say Jim Croce, I know there are people. Whenever whenever someone asks me what kind of music you listen to, I'll throw them Jim Croce just to see if they have any kind
See
of
if they
brain.
go, oh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they go, oh, Leroy Brown,
Yeah.
or like
Right.
something like that,
Oh, time in a bottle. Yeah.
I
Time
mean,
in a Bottle, which is another
like
big
I know
hit.
who
Yeah.
I know who he is, and I've heard some of it. Obviously, the two that you just mentioned,
Yeah.
I have heard.
Right,
but I
right,
mean,
right.
it's like I said, I don't know as much as you guys
You don't
do,
mess
so-
around with Jim. There are a
Yeah.
bunch of songs, but see, this is the thing. I didn't know about Croce until about like 4 years ago ish. Like I can't really pin it, but I was actually introduced by a friend of mine named Sam who like was listening to him
Yeah.
like crazy, and I heard Leroy Brown. I'm like, man, this blasts me back to the '90s. I and I
Yeah.
never knew who this was. So I mean, I like, but then like I got enthralled by it. I had to ask her a bunch of times, who is this again? Who is this again? And then I left, came back to Virginia, and it's like, had to find out more about him, and just started like
it hit you in the feels, and you dove down into it deep.
I mean, musically, I was inspired so much that I learned a song or two. But anyways, this album was was released December 1st, 1973, and Jim Croce died September 20th, 1973. So it was released. The whole album was released after he died.
Yeah.
It's
What do they call
posthumously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something.
It's
I don't.
posthumously, which is
Hum-
weird because there's no
Humorously?
humor.
I don't-
yeah,
I don't-
Postmuth.
or
Is it
posthumously.
Posthumous.
There's
I'd
an
say-
H
I'd
in there.
Posthumously.
I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
Posthumously or something. I read it today.
I would say like postmortem. Like
Well,
they're dead.
that's where it comes from, the word anyhow.
Yeah.
But anyways, a bunch of guys trying to figure out.
yeah.
We're
English.
four awesome guys trying to
Post
find
what?
out this horrible fucking word. But anyways,
So he died in September.
he died September.
It was released
Album was released
December
in
1st.
December.
Okay.
So and before the album was released, there were songs off of it that were already singles that were already just thrown out
Yeah,
there.
because I Got a Name that went.
Well, that came out the day after
Yep. I
he
think
died.
we heard that. We
Oh,
were
wow.
together when we heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very sad, man.
It's crazy, man.
So sad.
The song actually, I Got a Name, was to be on The Last American Hero, starring Jeff Bridges, a race car movie. It was one of Croce's. Croce, Time in a Bottle was on a made-for-TV.
Yeah, like on ABC.
Yeah,
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 it's
yeah.
got the
Well,
sticker on the album. If you find an old one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, featuring Time in a Bottle from the ABC series. Blah blah blah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So it's, I think, but this is a thing. The song was already made for this movie. It was written by Charles Fox and Norrin Gimbel,
That's right.
who are both still alive, and pretty much they heard Croce sing this song or singing songs, and they were like, "This is the guy we want to have sing this song." So they call him up and show him the song over the phone, which I thought was fucking funny.
Right.
Me and Cody, our whole
Listen to
life.
this.
Shit all the
Listen
time.
to this. Yeah, pretty much. And Croce agreed to it. So
That's awesome.
and there's two different versions. The version on the movie is different than the record version, of course. But it was kind of all put together at that time. And
That's awesome.
I mean, there isn't really a whole lot. The album was certified gold, of course. I mean, the guy died, so I feel like that
You
was
gotta
a big
give it
that was a
to
big
him.
thing. But there are a lot of hits on the record. I'll have to say, "I Love You" in a song was like a #1 hit, like
Yeah.
music hit. But there's
Yeah.
different charts and stuff.
He wrote that song like he got in a fight with his wife
Yeah.
or whatever, and
Aw.
then he went down in his basement or whatever and wrote the song, and then I think he played it for her, like to wake her up to or something like that. He woke
I
her
mean, it's
He was like a
He
hopeless
was the
romantic.
yeah,
he
he
was
was
the
very
man,
much
dude.
so. Yeah,
He'd do sweet shit like that.
up. My opinion, he's the greatest American songwriter.
I'd have
who
to
ever
agree
lived.
with you.
American poet. Yeah.
I never
man.
thought I would actually do the cast of a Croce record, this record, but once I looked at it and was like, wow, I discovered this was the last album. I kind of got hit a little hard,
Right.
My friend Haley sent this record back to me, and I'm like, well, I dig it. The song Thursday, which is probably one of my favorite songs. I listen to it
On Thursdays.
on Thursdays. But I mean, I listen to this record a lot, and there are so many really good songs on it, and there's quite a few like hits that hit the charts. It was as an album chart, it was charted 2 as soon as it came out in the U.S. and also in Canada was in the Canada
Sweet.
charts. So I
Wonder
mean,
if
like
UK even played it.
I mean, what do they
It
know?
was
What do they
Who
know
is
about
this
American?
guy?
Yeah, what do they know about American fucking folk? You know, folk rock and roll. Like they don't know shit about that. I mean, when it comes down to it, there are a bunch of copycats, in my opinion. When it comes down to like,
Right.
they take American music and they make it somewhat
British
tasteful,
invasion.
but
We gave
it's-
them the blues, and they sold it back to us in the form of Led Zeppelin.
It almost reminds me of some political stuff, which I'm not going to get into. Anyways,
Thank you.
That's for
Yes,
the other
thank
the other podcast, the Politicast.
no, there is no other podcast that has to do with
Politicast, I like
politi-
that.
I think Politico is already like coined that phrase. But anyways, besides all that, man, it's a great record. If you want to borrow
What's
it,
the name of it?
Beautiful.
I Got a Name.
I Got a Name.
It
I
was
have
also
a Croce
featured.
album.
Have you seen the movie Django Unchained?
I have.
It's in that film.
Yeah.
That the song they shake hands after talking about in the scene. They're talking.
Talking about saving his wife.
Yeah,
he tells her the
it's,
Broomhilda story.
Broomhilda, the story of
Yeah.
and
And they
they're
join
like,
forces.
They join, yeah, you
Yeah.
see them shake hands as soon as it was funny when I saw this film. I was watching it with Cody. It was packed. We couldn't get tickets to it like 3 or
3
4
days,
times over.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, it was like crazy. We finally got in there. It was packed. And I had to take a piss really bad. I brought in a bottle of Jack Daniels and was just drinking it. Cody's like, "My God, I could smell it." It's like, dude, fuck you. I could smell you too. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I go to take a leak because finally it's just, I got to do
Too
it.
much.
And I didn't feel like listening to Broomhilda's fucking story.
Right.
And I come back as soon as I open the door and I'm like arriving, they shake hands and I Got a Name starts playing. I was like, yes!
Yeah, I didn't even know Kyle was back in the theater. I just hear, yeah.
It was one of the most like awesome movie experiences I ever had, and one of the most funny too. That movie's very controversial, but there are a lot of great Croce songs. There are few, obviously, this being his 5th and last
Yeah.
studio album to listen to, but he's got a whole like chronicle, like
Oh, yeah.
anthology, like
Yeah.
Like
thing. So
Cody
excuse
and
me.
Kyle were actually the 2 guys that introduced Croce to me, and then like I hopped on the train. I was just like, dude, Croce is freaking tight. I was
Yeah.
like, that's how I usually find cool shit. Is like a friend to listen to, and I'll be like, hey, can you burn me something? And they'll burn me like, here's the perfect CD to understand them. And it's like, okay, and I listen to it, and it's always like the greatest experience. That's how I.
One of those, this will open your
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah, I've done
Yeah,
that
but-
quite a few times.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, for me especially, but like Croce, like you and Kyle both, like you guys got me on that hard with songs like Box Number 10. That's
It's a
man.
great song.
yeah, that was more
That's
recent.
another one that really reflects
Like,
his life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one that's
Absolutely.
like boom that hit me the first one. I was like, I need to hear more. Was Operator.
Oh, yeah.
Operator, yeah. Which
That's
The
his-
dude's guitar
one of
work
his
alone.
biggest, I guess.
wasn't he in the
Yeah.
army when he wrote that?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sitting waiting to use the phone because like back then it was the same as in jail. You're sitting in line to use the phone. And it's like, get the fuck off the phone, man. I need to use it. But it's like, wait a minute,
That's
operator.
right. Yeah.
Go off
And
the phone, sunshine.
a lot of his songs are actually comical. Like if you actually really
Oh,
think
yeah,
about
he's
the
got some
time,
crazy
they're comical to the point where it's like it's laughable, but it's so colorful that it's beauty. It's not necessarily just laugh out loud funny music.
Yeah.
It's like you take it in and then you want to take it in again and again and again.
Yeah.
No homo.
I'll have to
I
sit
Got a
down
Name
and listen
is
to the
really
the album that I have. I don't know which one I have off the top of my head. but
have an album? I want to hear it now.
You have
I
to
do.
check that.
I do have a Croce album.
I have
think
I
actually-
got a greatest hits on like record.
Life and
Nice.
Times is awesome.
Yeah.
It's got some really good jams on that
Got that
one.
one.
If you have that one.
That's the one you
don't
gave
know.
me, I think, wasn't it?
No,
Or
you
it
have
was
Time
I
in a
Got-
Bottle.
Oh, okay.
Or not
that's-
Time in a Bottle. What's it called? Don't Mess Around with Jim. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the one you have with Time in a Bottle.
Yeah. It was a twofer.
Absolutely, it's like Croce. I was like, I could talk forever. He is super talented. Like his guitar work alone is impressive as hell.
Yeah, he honestly deserves a podcast.
And, yeah,
for
and when-
just him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you go on YouTube on your little computer and you check out Jim Croce and you get a live performance you're gonna get what you get on the record.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
He's
Straight up.
to a T. Him and his guitars, they'll sit there
Just
and play you
listening
the
to
damn
him
song.
almost even better, you know. Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
he'd
listen to him
always-
talk. I mean, he's the most
Yeah.
chill. God damn it, why
He's a
didn't they have
good guy.
podcasts back then? I would have gotten into podcast. Well, I know why, but it's just this guy when he talks, he's such a chill, relaxed, collect
Yeah.
person that it just he would just be somebody you would like connect with immediately, like a magnet.
Yeah,
he
like,
just
He
brings.
was a wise, insightful dude, you know.
Yeah.
Like the relative you love to talk to.
Yeah,
like
man.
Uncle Jim. He's over here like
that's,
talk.
That's really
Uncle Jeffrey.
But anyways, I'm going to be done with this one. Actually, I'm gonna
Pass it
You're gonna
off.
call
pass
it.
it on. Yeah,
Right on.
Who's
time
next?
travel. Yeah.
I'm next. I decided to do ACDC's first internationally released album. This is the first internationally. It's High Voltage by ACDC. It's a great album. They had 2 prior releases, but they were only in Australia, and those have songs on them. Like there were actually 2 songs were on those records that were on this that they moved over to this one, and that was the song "She's Got Balls" and the song "Little Lover."
So were they released as singles in Australia?
No, these were these were full albums. One was High Voltage and another one was TNT.
Why only in Australia?
Because that's where they were from.
Oh.
Yep, the Australian boys, and
Yeah,
they're all
they couldn't,
about.
get the marketing going
Yeah.
quick enough.
I was about to say they're about 4'11", like
Drunk.
full of fucking energy, drunk, spitting, smoking.
Ready to fight.
Bon Scott walks into the room in booty shorts, no shirt, and a banana, like hanging out of his pants, like that's
Baddest
lunch.
motherfucker ever. Dude.
I gotta tell you, man.
Scott's
Just real
magical.
quick, I was in a music class in high school, and Miss Smiley, rest in peace. She told me and everyone else when we were in guitar class that if you think garage rock like AC/DC is gonna get you anywhere, then you just took the wrong class. That you're not gonna make it anywhere in life trying to play that shit. Now, I mean, this chick she's accepted Grammys, a Grammy, but doesn't matter. Like.
For what, a classical
your
album
teacher.
playing Bach?
I don't know. Pretty much that's how it was. I asked her to play Piano Man back in the day, and she refused. And then I asked Ian later on in life to do the same, and he refused. So I was like, well, it's just the way it is.
What we're trying to say is
square,
we're
man.
looking for a pianist out there who will play Piano Man.
I want to play harmonica. No.
Damn it.
Don't worry, we're still on 2 hands on the count of how many times you've asked me.
Well, after being rejected once, it's easier to take rejection more.
Yeah.
Guys, you know what I'm
I
talking
like
about.
Billy Joel. Don't get me wrong. I like Billy Joel.
I hate him.
I just got. I'm tired of Piano Man. I've heard it so
I
many
hear
times.
you, dude. I'm just playing. But no, yeah, that's good stuff.
And Cody hates it.
Back to ACDC. I'm sorry.
I
Let's talk
like
about
Billy
some
Joel
real
though.
I like some.
I'm okay
you
with
know,
What was
I
in the
take
movie
what I
Step
like,
Brothers? They're like 80s Joel. Only 80s Joel. I do like some Billy Joel.
ACDC, ladies and
AC/DC.
gentlemen.
I didn't start the fire, but I surely ended it. One of the single, I believe the only single from this album, "Long Way to the Top," if you want to rock and roll.
Great fucking song.
Yeah, peaked at number 5, and that is one of the it's on this album, so it's like you got to listen to it. "Long Way to the Top" is one of those songs. If you've ever been a musician and you've started a band with your friends, like you relate completely.
Or if you've watched School of Rock.
Yeah, or if you watch School of Rock.
Yeah, but I mean, being in a band relates to it totally different than seeing
Yeah.
a movie. I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
people who don't know AC/DC, but they like mainstream.
I was given the
movies.
reference point.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, even the song itself, it doesn't. Hey, and let's just
rock and roll.
let's just clear the record straight real quick. That song isn't really played that much on the radio, anyways. When it comes to
Yeah.
AC/DC music, and when you do hear it, it's like I'm gonna keep it on. At least when I hear it.
Yeah,
when
that's
I
like I'll
used to
turn the
drive
thing
it.
up. I'll be like, oh, right on.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
probably the first band too to put to introduce bagpipes with rock.
Yeah.
And roll.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that was-
Bon Scott,
The
dude.
Yes,
bagpipes.
Bon
Fuck yeah,
Scott.
man.
Yeah, Bon Scott played. He actually knew how to play the recorder, like we all learned in
Yeah.
3rd grade or
Right.
whatever. He could play that, and the producer was. Let me see here. I knew it, George Young. Angus Young and Malcolm Young's brother,
who they worked with for years,
Yeah.
recording their albums with.
Absolutely. He was really good at production. He was in a band before, and he done the whole thing,
right.
so he knew a lot. And he thought it would add more dynamic to the song. It's like, hey, bagpipes, and Bon Scott said, "All right, I'll try. I'll try, mate."
Well, I mean, Bon Scott's. They put up a statue in Scotland.
Yes.
That's where he's from. The guy, the bagpipes.
fucking
That's in
badass.
Scotland. Yeah, it was like last year before last.
That's
They
badass,
made a
dude.
statue like dedicated to him in in a big city
I
or
remember
something.
that.
You
So
remember?
I
was I
remember.
with
I
you when
remember.
we were-
Yeah, I think we saw it on the internet somewhere, and we were like,
Okay.
"Wow,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool."
He was the
'Cause-
greatest frontman ever, dude.
Oh,
In my
yeah.
opinion, like so much showmanship.
If,
you know?
I got the DVD box set Family Jewels, which had a couple of their music
Yes.
videos and some live performances.
Yeah.
They did a cover of "Baby Please Don't Go," and you can see Bon Scott. He is dressed as a woman,
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen
and it's the
that.
funniest shit in the
Yeah,
world.
I was pretty drunk when I saw that shit.
Oh
I was
my-
actually with
my fucking
ex-friend Jesse watching some shit like that at my house, drinking Four Locos before they changed.
And
into
you're like, "What the
pussies."
fuck are we watching?"
Yeah. No, I was just fucked up. Like, dude, he's got blonde hair. Like,
Yeah.
it's a wig. Fucking
Bon
Brits.
Scott also, he was like one of the skinniest dudes ever, but I would put my money on him in a fight, like with anyone. Mike Tyson, he'd fucking tear Mike Tyson apart.
In the
If you-
dress.
Yeah, in the dress.
I think it's
While
the
smoking a cigarette.
in the video for "Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap." You'll actually notice. You'll notice like Angus's teeth are fucked up. Bon Scott's teeth are fucked up. I think that album came out after this one, and it was because of the touring lifestyle. They got into a lot of bar fights and shit.
Sure,
Really?
dude. They're,
Yes.
Oh,
So
man.
when,
Like,
when
really?
Dirty Deeds are shooting,
really-
Yeah.
for real, real quick.
That's a bunch of free drinks and then unpaid tabs that they didn't fucking agree with. Yeah, dude. I mean,
Yeah, and it's like it
classic.
just shows in the next album. It just really shows.
Yeah.
Fantastic artists, all of them. Angus Young plays a total of 3 chords this whole album.
I think that's every album, actually, Chris.
If you listen to ACDC, all the songs kind of sound alike, but that's because it is a normal like blues scale. That's what Angus loves to
but
play.
they had a sound, and that's something that a lot of
Yeah.
people can't take from them, is that you hear ACDC, you know it's ACDC.
Uh-huh.
It's not like a lot of other groups where, well, this song and this song, you know who that is. I'll ask younger kids these days that I work with, who this is? Who is it? The Eagles? And it's like, no, you're fucking wrong.
Fucking
but
plebes.
it's like, this group, they're badass. They maybe not be the best intricate. I know they put on a fucking awesome show. They have a shitty front man now, and that's all I got to say about the topic. It's still ACDC, though, when you go to see it.
I just like his words in between lyrics. That,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
just
Bon
the
Scott.
random stuff. Yeah.
I mean, his lyrics, too, just in all, like, they were always badass.
Yeah.
man.
He's
Like,
a mean motherfucker.
It's either, it's like either sexually charged or like evil charged.
We're gonna
you know?
fuck
Like-
with you.
Yeah, it's like we're either gonna fuck you or
we're
we're
gonna
gonna
blow
fuck
you
with
up.
you.
Yeah, we're gonna blow you up type
Yeah,
shit.
it's like blow shit up. We're gonna get out of jail,
Yeah,
shoot
dude.
guns, dead or alive. I got a 45.
I like that
Yeah.
analogy. The fuck or be fucked with, or
Yeah.
the fuck or fuck with.
We're
Kind
gonna
of thing.
fuck you or we're gonna fuck with you.
Yeah.
Chris Morrison.
One of my
That's like
favorite
what-
lines he did was hotter than the rolling dice, colder than a body on ice. Like, just shit
Yeah.
like that, man. Or, like, even from TNT.
So
Because
what-
TNT,
yeah.
was that? No, that wasn't.
yeah.
Oh,
No, you're
it was
talking.
on this album.
Wait. Were you quoting? I'm hot, and when I'm not, I'm cold as ice.
Yeah.
Is that same song? Yeah.
when I'm not,
Livewire.
I'm cold
Yeah.
as ice.
Is Livewire on this album?
Livewire.
I don't-
I think it. Hold on one second. I'm just checking. Cause Livewire is on this album.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because I was about to
Awesome.
say this album I was listening to, my first, and I think it was my only that I remember. That was my first time in the back of a cop car. Yeah, because I was it was nothing bad. Like
You got a badass over here.
yeah, right. When you hear the story, it's like that's not that badass. I was like, I don't even know if I want to tell it. So moving on.
He had Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap playing in his head while he's back there. He's rocking out in the back of the
I had
cop car.
I had Livewire where he was like, "You've got the thirst and I've got the booze," and then I saw the light go behind me. I was like, "Oh fuck!" I was like, "Great," but that was a fun night. it's just one of those. It's one of the coolest albums to ever. Like, this energizes me every time I listen to it. If I'm ever in a shitty mood or I'm lazy as fuck, put on some ACDC, especially High Voltage, my very favorite album. You got great songs on here.
Man.
I just want to run down the list a little bit.
Yeah, dude.
Long Way to the Top is what it opens up with, of course, and then you got Rock and Roll Singer, about like I want to be a rock and roll singer, going to be a rock and roll star, talking about dreams of fortune and fame and stuff, and that's good. The Jack. She's got the Jack.
Good bluesy
song. Sexually charged song. It make like in American speak, you would think like, oh, he's talking about like she can jerk a guy off pretty good. But it's like that's not exactly what they're talking about, because the Jack in it's either Scotland, from where Bon Scott's from, or it's in Australia.
Well,
that's slang for the clap.
Well, oh no shit.
Wow.
Well, I mean, that they're both
Okay,
England
then.
owned, so I mean, like. It's a British thing.
Yeah.
Just Australians are like the far right wing.
Yeah, it's
British,
like, but it's funny because like I found that out and I was like, oh shit, that's street slang for the clap, and
that's awesome.
And I thought that totally just changed it. I was like, she's got the Jack, damn it. I used to think it was sexy, but now it's like, ew.
I need to go back and listen to the verses in that song and see what he's saying.
Oh no, it's and that's one of the coolest things with Bon Scott in his writing was it was constant sexual innuendos.
Fuck yeah.
What was it? For the Jack, he was talking about like he would sing it like he was playing cards, like the Jack, the King of Diamonds, shit like that. He was saying she was holding a pair, but I had to try. Her deuce was wild, but my ace was high. You put that in if you say that with a Barry White voice, it can sound sexual.
Man,
Yeah.
like I'll put him up there with Jim Morrison.
He's there with like
poetic,
he's like a mix between Jim Morrison and Rodney Dangerfield. He's got one-liners out the fucking wazoo,
real,
and it's
that is a very good analogy.
yeah, no respect. Can I Sit Next to You, Girl? That's on side 2. TNT is on this album too. That's side 2. Little Lover, That's pretty hot song when you're fucking 15 and just like starting to talk to women and learning about it's like I don't know. It opened my eyes to a lot of shit that I didn't even understand.
You were 15.
She's Got Balls. She's Got Balls. That was a good song. And then they close it out with High Voltage Rock and Roll. As I was saying earlier, most AC/DC songs sound alike, but each one is a gem. Angus Young doesn't. He usually just plays a regular blues scale kind of tunes, but I guarantee there's not anybody on this planet that can play those 3 chords like he can.
True, and the solos on those records are pretty flipping awesome.
With this album, they after the release, they did tour in England. They were I mentioned on last podcast. They were booked with punk bands because that's what was happening in England at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You had the Ramones, you had Sex Pistols, you had the Clash. Everybody was doing their thing, so they got booked with a lot of punk bands.
It's crazy.
And they were like, then they were actually interviewed as, as punk, and like Bon Scott got offended. It's like
that's probably who they were fighting in these fights with,
really,
these pussy ass punks.
They weren't pussies back then. They are now. But
Yeah,
I mean, back
you're
then,
right,
no,
you're right.
It was a free for all, Ted Nugent style. No, I'm
Was
kidding.
it like, didn't the didn't like the bassist or the drummer from the Dead Boys get stabbed or some shit? Just
By
thinking about
AC/DC?
No,
No.
AC/DC.
Yeah. That's funny because that was gonna be the album that I was gonna do tonight, but obviously I couldn't find
Just
a
didn't.
whole lot on them. Period.
Oh, fuck,
But
that
yeah,
sucks.
he did get stabbed. I mean, they were on tour and they were starting shit in a grocery store or something like that. And I mean, these guys, I read up on some of them today, but I mean, these guys were like the epitome of punk rock. They were downright
snarling, spitting.
Yeah, I mean,
That's how I feel about
the self-mutilation on stage, all that.
Getting head on stage.
Yeah, considering that they were...
Sounds like G.G. Allen.
Sounds like a great show.
Yeah, considering they used to be like altar boys for the Catholic Church.
Wow.
Yeah, these guys were the epitome of punk rock. But anyways...
they had
It's a
enough.
good show, but a little Gallagher style where you have to...
Yeah.
You don't want to get someone.
That's crazy.
You got to pull up the tarp and it's like, it's a good show.
Yeah. But anyways, back to AC/DC, back to Chris talking about talk.
Oh, okay. I was like, passing it back. Okay, right on.
Say something. Give me something.
Yeah, right. Malcolm Young, mostly Malcolm Young and Bon Scott were both on the forefront of just like stop calling us punk. Like we're just rock and roll players. It's what we like to do. This is what we do. And they were actually more badass than most of the punk rock bands. They would drink harder.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, they would drink harder, smoke more cigarettes,
Punks
and
couldn't keep up.
they will
with
fuck you up.
Yeah.
Like, without thinking about it, they will fuck you up. With the bagpipes, going way back now. Call back. Yeah. They wanted more dynamic. George Young wanted more dynamics with A Long Way to the Top, so they decided to do bagpipes, which Bon Scott would do, and then they found out very quickly that they are hard, like bagpipes and guitar are extremely hard to line up and sync. So they had a great time with that. They eventually did it. Bon Scott would just practice until he got it right.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool. Like, he learned the damn instrument for the one song, he did it. And
Hell yeah.
that just goes to show like how awesome some of these artists are. Because when you look at Bon Scott and you listen to his singing, you see him on stage, it's like, this guy's probably just a simple guy, just singer, like just high energy and shit. But no, he was very interested in the music.
Why don't you fill me up?
Fill me up. And if you look at the performance in Australia of that song, Fill Me Up Buttercup, there is a video out there with Bon Scott singing backup when he was very young. And I think that's just about, let me just see here. I'm looking at little notes here. Yeah, that's all about, and I'm just looking, that's about it. It's just a great fucking band. Love the album.
Awesome album.
Yeah, and I purely got this in my big old collection when my owner moved. This was part of that huge fucking collection.
Nice.
And I was flipping through because he was like, you can have all these. And I started flipping, and I saw this after I owned the CD for years. And about 3 or 4 years I had the CD, and I'd still listen to it. And I was so ecstatic when I saw it, and I got it, and it's going to stay in my collection for a very long time. We can time travel now. I'm done.
All right. Yeah, we're going to jump ahead, and I'm going to close it out with the Black Keys.
How far did we jump into the future?
Probably about 30 years.
How many presidents
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah.
Fuck the Reagan
A
years.
little over 30 years.
We skipped it.
Yeah, we
Yeah, I
skipped that
picked
shit.
the Black Keys.
And Clinton.
I believe it's their third album, second or third album. ThickFreakness, which is like their best album in my opinion. Brothers was really good.
That's the one
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of.
Yeah,
I know Brothers.
The last couple they've done, I wasn't really too hip on it.
like the El Camino and
Yeah.
just
Their newer
some other
stuff
ones.
I
isn't
liked
as
El
appealing.
Camino.
I don't know. I like the stuff that was revealed
Yeah.
to by Cody. I mean,
Like I'm waiting for them to go back to their roots and kick the bass out. No offense, Kyle.
no, not taking
But,
at this point, buddy.
But like I really hope they go back to the roots and just do drums and guitar. You know?
because those are
It's
those are some of
raw
the
and
coolest.
Yeah,
it's
they're
fucking
still good
awesome.
musicians,
Yeah.
but it's just like the thing with these guys is, if you've played in a band before and say half the band doesn't show up and it's just you and your drummer, it sounds really naked trying to play.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cody
With
knows,
no help, you got to really keep up. Like it'll make you a better guitar player. I'll tell you
That's
that.
for damn sure.
'Cause
Yeah,
you got to
you-
cover
Cody
so
knows.
much.
You can't stop. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even being in a 3-piece, it's like that. You got to
Uh-huh.
really put your money where your mouth is. But these guys, I mean, they inspired me a lot. Like Dan Arbach.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really good modern guitar player. He got a lot of heavy influence from old blues players. This is a guy who never plays with a pick. He's all finger picking.
Oh, right.
all the
on.
time.
Damn.
I don't know if you guys knew that, but
That's,
That's
it's always
pretty badass,
impressive
though,
as a
yeah.
musician. Like when you go out and you see somebody like just
Yeah.
rocking the finger. When I'm sitting,
Uh-huh.
I can't. So it's like I'll sit there and watch Ian just do it effortlessly, and I'm like, oh my god, like
Yeah.
why the fuck do I bother playing?
Yeah.
But
and he's got a very heavy influence blues technique, but it's also obscure in some ways where like if I'm listening to a song and I don't know who it is, if I hear his guitar on it, I'm gonna know that's Dan Arbach
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah,
you
he's got
know?
a signature style.
Yeah,
too, his
most
playing.
definitely.
Like,
it's
like,
kind of
this
just
is
that
me.
Yep.
that twang fuzz.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Twang fuzz.
twang fuzz. That's just listening to
Everybody
the Brothers
playing
album.
fuzz tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. But see, with these old albums, he was playing a fuzz on like pretty much all the stuff. He still uses it a lot. I mean, he's more clean now.
Yeah.
But like all these old songs, you know, it was all fuzz, and like I think that's what made up for only having 2 of them, and you know, and then you got Pat Carney on drums, he's crazy at drums, in my opinion. He's pretty good. I got to see these guys back in 2008. And it was awesome. Like
Sweet.
this was still when nobody really knew about them. So when they came on stage, everybody cleared out, and I got like front row. Like,
oh yeah,
it was great, man. Yeah,
that's so badass.
their set got shortened though, because Lil Wayne is a piece of shit. But I'm not gonna get in all that.
He come out playing a guitar.
Yeah,
Jesus.
but
Me and my guitar, yeah.
yeah,
Damn, Kyle, that was good. Man, got to be a rapper. Yeah.
but yeah, this album came out in 2002, and 2003, I think. Yeah, 2002, and they recorded it at Studio 45, which was Pat Carney's basement, pretty much.
Hey.
He used a Tascam 388 from the 1980s. You know,
1980s.
so that's also why they had that old sound on their first few records. You know, I'm guessing
Like,
recording in that like grimy basement. You know,
What's the lead singer's or the guitar singer's name?
Dan Arbach.
Dan Arbach.
Yeah.
His voice is so damn soulful.
I know, right? Like it's so soulful you can't understand half the shit he says on these.
Too much soul.
like the title song "Thick Freakness," which is actually the first song on the album.
And that is a really awesome
Oh
song.
yeah, like this is that album where you don't have to hit the skip button at all. It's
Fuck
just
yeah.
every song is a good hit. Like there's actually a couple covers on here too. But like Midnight in Her Eyes, that was a big song that I first heard by them. Really inspired me. Set You Free. Like the first time I ever even seen anything on these guys, I saw them on Conan O'Brien playing. It might have been Thick Freakness. I'm not sure which one it was, but
I've seen a few different live performances of
yeah.
Big
Oh, they're
Freakness,
great live,
so-
man. Like when I saw them, it was still just the 2 of them. That's before they broke off and started adding bass and like
Oh wow.
other singers.
I didn't even
and
know they're
stuff.
doing that now.
Oh
'Cause-
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
Holy
that's
fuck.
actually what makes them
Yep.
suck now. They were
What was it like 2 NBA finals ago? They were like the music. What was the
Really?
what was the big hit that they had like a couple years back? It wasn't too long.
Wasn't that
ago.
on El Camino? There was a big song on there.
There was. It was and it was
like
hugely
the
I
lady
wanna
played
get
on-
my gold on the sea. That one.
Oh yeah, Gold on the Ceiling.
Yeah, that's the song. Yeah,
Not
it
a
was
really
all
great
over.
song, in my opinion.
Not me either.
Just my
like,
opinion.
I actually, I have a huge history with them. I never bought an album by them, nor have I, but I've heard them and I've seen some really like the awesome stuff is what Cody's talking about, which is like that their beginnings.
The
like,
older blues style.
where
Yeah.
well, I mean, their ideas too, video wise, they're very entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know?
they
How-
always had
how
great
for you.
videos.
Yeah,
That video was good.
I really
Yeah.
respect them as a group as far as that's concerned. And really, when you boil it down, it's like 2 guys. It's simplifying.
Doing all that work.
It's simplifying something, and they have a formula, and they
Yeah.
should have stuck to that formula. But the music industry.
Yeah, they had to
They'll do
change
whatever.
it up.
Was
Yeah.
this their first?
No, this is I believe it's their second, possibly third album.
Oh, that's funny.
They-
Album art.
Yeah, yeah. I love the album art in it, man. It's like just like an old school '50s ad for some pomade.
Yeah.
A couple fingers getting dipped in it. I don't know where those fingers are going.
Yeah, don't know where they've been.
Yeah, don't know where they've been either. Yeah,
Ooh.
but yeah, the album art is great on this. But I actually have more sentimental stuff to talk about for this album. I'm going Kyle style tonight.
This is some good stuff.
Yeah. So back when I was in high school, my English class that I got held back in because I used to stay out and party all night.
Right
and
on.
sleep in class.
Cool guy.
We had to do this.
Stay in school.
Yeah, stay in school, please.
fuck
Don't
school.
fuck around.
Fuck school. It's babysitting.
But anyways, we had to do this project where we send a letter to some company, like one kid sent a letter to like Nike asking for like a pair of socks or
I did
some
that back
shit.
in elementary school.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, me
well, we
too.
did this in high school,
Like
so
except-
you can
except
see how
we-
high school sucks.
Yeah, except we just had to send a letter to somebody famous. Like
Yeah.
I sent a letter to Cal Ripken. I
that's
don't
cool.
have the letter anymore or anything like that.
Did
but
you get something back?
yeah. Oh yeah.
What?
Oh yeah.
I want to hear what happened.
Yeah, I got some back of mine, but yeah. So me being, that was when I was really heavily into music. You know, like
I do. Yeah,
I was
remember
like,
those years.
yeah, I was
actually.
like, well, I'm not gonna write a company or some bullshit. I'm gonna like try and find the address of Dan Arbach from the Black Keys, because they weren't like really famously. They weren't really successful.
They weren't
then.
huge
Yeah,
yet.
they weren't huge, like playing on every car commercial,
like
or
a
Levi
household name
commercial.
or
Yeah,
anything.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I might be able to do this. So there was like a search engine. I think it was like Zaba or some shit. But I actually found him, and I knew it was him because it was in Akron, Ohio. And that's where they're famous from being from.
Yeah.
That's why their first album was Rubber Factory, because
Oh.
Ohio's
Recorded in a factory, wasn't it?
I think so,
Yeah.
or it might have been
Rubber
in their
Factory,
basement
yeah.
still.
I don't know. I remember hearing something like that about their first album.
Okay,
being
yeah.
recorded in an actual
Akron's
factory.
very industrial, I
Yeah,
suppose.
very, very industrial. Rubber, there's like...
Their
they're
main
the-
export.
They're the rubber state, you
we,
know?
we make rubber here. My pappy made rubber. I make rubber.
Yeah, but yeah, so I pretty much sent him a letter saying, you know, I'm a guitar player. I've been playing for I don't know how many years at that point.
Yeah.
But just saying, you know, you inspire me. You guys are awesome, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like telling him I had to do this report and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know, is there any way you could send me an autograph or like some pics or like guitar pics or like or maybe free concert tickets, wink, wink.
Yeah.
And I was like, that would be really cool. And then they sent me this letter back.
Oh, you're unfolding paper?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's perfect too. I just want to point this out that it is on like a college ruled paper. It's not
Yep.
like, you know, printed out like you would get from, you know, like
Right.
I got
Exactly.
or anything
It's
like that.
handwritten.
It's actually handwritten,
Yeah,
which is pretty
loosely.
badass.
Yeah.
And it doesn't say fuck off on
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
In big letters.
And what Dan said was, thanks for the kind words. Good luck with the guitar playing. I've been at it for 10 years, and I still feel like a beginner. Take care, Dan. And then there's a postscript, and he says, your letter was very professional. We were all very impressed here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right on.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, I was
Dude,
like, wow.
that's so cool.
And I opened up the other thing that was included, and it was a newspaper clipping from their hometown in Akron of them two on the cover,
Wow.
back
Nice.
to back, and it says, "Thanks, Cody, Dan."
Dude,
yeah.
what? That's so fucking cool.
I know, man. Like, and it was funny because like I was up late and I checked the mail at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
For some reason. And
You
I
were
immediately
excited.
see this and I was like, oh, like, you know, dancing around doing the
Instantly
jig and
turned
shit.
into a giddy little schoolgirl.
Yeah, man.
Shit,
like,
dude, that is so badass.
Yeah.
Why is that not framed?
And
or
you have,
something?
like, the
I know, I
envelope?
haven't gotten around
That's
to
pretty
framing it
badass.
You,
yet.
you have the
Classy,
envelope
though,
and
like,
everything. Why
yeah.
didn't you do
Point
this
it-
one
point it
sooner,
out
bro?
there.
I know.
Like,
I really need to.
dude, that's really tight. That is so fucking cool.
I
I'm
think
sorry.
this
It's
is
cool
my
though, like
greatest
pulling
treasure.
it out of the envelope. It's kind
Yeah.
of like, whoa, this is old. Like the envelope
Yeah.
itself.
It
You
puts
look
some
at the,
solidarity
look at the friggin-
to
Look
it.
at the like the.
It's so faded.
Yeah,
No,
it's
but
pretty
this right
faded.
here.
Is there a date on a date on the
Yes.
news clipping?
On the news clipping was from July 19th through the. Oh wait, no, that's when they were playing.
Look at the stamps though. Those stamps are freaking classic.
Yeah, it was July 19th through 25th in 2006, and the note on, or the date on the envelope stamp is like right around there. It's actually almost 10 years old. A little
Nice.
over.
Wow.
It's like a few days over 10 years old. I was looking at that. I was like, oh wow, this is perfect.
Kind of
like,
meant to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. So it's been 10 years since I received this. Now it's
Wow.
crazy. I'm old
dude,
as shit.
That fucking,
You're old.
dude, that makes me so like excited because it's like holy shit. You know, I mean that wasn't like that's not them from now, but it's still, it's like you reached out and they actually fucking wrote you back and
Yeah,
then some.
it-
Like they
yeah, it
gave you
means a
that
lot.
and signed it and wrote
Yeah,
it.
it means a lot, man. Like I couldn't believe it. Like it just shows that these are real dudes, you know.
Yeah.
Like
2 sentences for the letter. I was a little like, come on, bro. Like, I wonder how much Cody wrote on his letter. Like,
I mean, it wasn't that long because I think the project was we have to write a professional letter.
Yeah.
and I
and then he
said
was
that.
like, it's very professional.
Yeah, I remember saying that in the letter. It was like, yeah, we have to do this thing.
Do you remember
for-
if you got extra credit because he actually said like, that was very professional?
You know what's funny is I actually never even turned it in or nothing.
Oh.
I was because like I
That's
think it arrived. Yeah, this arrived late because I didn't get this till July.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're out
yeah,
of school
middle
by
of summer.
now, or
Yeah.
you're in summer school.
Yes. No.
I'm just kidding.
Not that year. No. That's why I had to redo it. But yeah, I mean that's all I wanted to say about this. I just
That's pretty badass.
yeah. It's
Thank
one
you
of,
for sharing.
It's one of my gyms, man.
That's really.
and I need to
fucking
frame
cool.
it now.
Yeah.
I have no excuses, but
I mean,
Yeah.
everything, all of it. Letter,
Yeah, I want
newspaper
a
clipping,
big
the
plaque.
envelope, everything.
yeah, man. Yep.
Wow, that's
It
so-
belongs
good
in a
dudes.
museum.
Indiana Jones is gonna bust in here any minute.
That is pretty awesome. Well,
Yeah, man.
I think that's a great stopping point. I'm very happy. Like now, I'm gonna sleep well tonight. That's so, I never even fucking
Clap
knew all
along
that.
if you feel like.
Clap along to the beat. Well, again, I'm Chris Morrison.
I'm Ian.
I'm Cody.
I'm Kyle.
Thanks for listening to Pure Finds. We're closed. Now listen to some awesome outro music.